Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. I'm your host Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And this is take two of the Mile High Game Guys board
Another
gaming
take
podcast.
two.
But it was only 7 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
It's still not that 53 minute.
Right. But this is a Wednesday banter episode, which means that it is in fact sponsored by our sponsors, Gray Fox Games. They sponsor all of our Wednesday episodes, so
because they're a sponsor.
Yeah.
It sponsors the thing. And we
Sponsors-
mentioned the sponsor at the beginning of the
Correct.
podcast with the name of the sponsor.
Yes, indeed we do. So what's everybody been up to? Well, there's been kind of nice, rainy, but it's brought the temperature down, which I appreciate.
Yeah, that's nice. I played disc golf today, and it was very, very wet.
I could imagine. It rained pretty good yesterday, and then I think it rained quite a bit, even maybe through the night. I don't know.
Yeah, and it rained earlier tonight.
Oh yeah,
It's going to rain right now even.
it was dumping on me as I was leaving work.
Gotcha.
Yesterday, it almost hailed on me as I was leaving work. So glad I avoided that.
Yeah. I haven't seen much hail this year.
I saw a decent amount earlier this year.
Yeah, there was a bunch in the spring. Spring
Yeah.
was pretty gnarly.
Yeah, they got slammed earlier this year, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's like crazy hail.
I think I saw a picture of like 15 inches of hail that was in the mountains somewhere.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of hail.
Yeah, I think I'd seen that as well.
It's like the kind of hailstorm that wrecked Mike down in the Springs. His buddy, I think it was.
Oh,
the
yeah,
basement, that stuff he
I
sent us way
yeah.
back for one of our
Yeah.
contests. That
It's
was
like a
crazy.
river of hail that flooded his
Smashed
basement.
his basement and ruined all his games.
Basically, glaciers moved into his basement.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's brutal.
Yeah, it's very brutal. But yeah, that's the weather update.
It's cold.
It's cold right now. It's like
Yeah.
59.
58.
58. It's dropped a whole nother degree in the
Yes.
7 minutes that the stream went down.
Yeah.
I haven't done a lot. I've worked mostly since the last time anybody saw me show wise, because we did 2 streams last week. I did 3 streams last week.
Yeah.
We did Game of Thrones on Monday, not even a full week ago.
Yep.
We did, it will be for podcast listeners, but
Yes.
we did Mile High Dungeon Delvers returned to their Esthenar Dawn campaign on Tuesday, which it was good to get back to that. I did the entire session without a character sheet because it got stuck somewhere in the move, and I thought I had it, but I only had my old character sheet from when we first started, so it was not the right one. Luckily, we didn't really fight, but it has one of the coolest scenes in MHDD so far, I think. Wes did an excellent job DMing like a series of events that I'm not going to spoil because it's not out on podcast yet. But if you enjoy MHDD, you'll like this next episode. If you didn't catch the stream, that is. And you should catch any of them. So, and then on Friday, we did Terraforming Mars. And
Yes.
spoiler alert, Megan kicked our asses.
Yeah.
That was indeed a spoiler.
Yeah, because that's not even up on YouTube yet. So
Nope.
it will be by the time the podcast comes out, though.
And
All right, you've said that. And
Yeah, I'll put it up.
All right.
I'm putting it up tomorrow.
Okay.
Don't forget Game of Thrones.
I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Because Game of Thrones is spread across like 4 different fucking video files.
Fun fact, Terraforming Mars is too.
Huh?
When all the Terraforming Mars got cut at the end because this Twitch was having problems, it's on Twitch right now as like 3 or 4 different streams.
Great.
Yep. All you got to do is just download all the files, and then you just smush them together.
Smoosh them. You just drag, you have the one icon, you just drag the other icons onto it, and it just puts it all in one file.
Yeah, that's how it works. It's the future, man.
Yeah. The wonders of video.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so I did a lot of streams. That's what I've done.
Yeah. And we streamed the podcast last week.
Last
as well,
Sunday, yeah,
so
because we do that now
we
every
streamed
Sunday.
4 days in that week.
Yeah.
Yes.
This week, only 2, right?
So far.
Today and Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a slower week.
That's fine.
Slower with heavy air quotes.
Right.
Still streaming twice.
Yeah. We haven't decided what we're streaming on Friday. Oh no, we're doing Brass.
Yes.
Brass Lancashire.
Yes, and you have appointments to make with people that need to play brass.
Yeah, I reached out. So far, I haven't heard back. I'll start bugging people individually very soon.
Okay.
Zet, you have been forgiven for wronging Ofer.
Let me just write a cut down
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Because every time that you talk to the chat with no context.
I know what it's referencing. Ofer was mad at me because I didn't buy you an entire shopping cart full of White Claw for Friday's
Yeah.
thing.
I did see someone walking into a brewery yesterday with a White Claw container. They had clearly walked down the street and gotten White Claw and then come back to the brewery because they had worked there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like White Claw is just basic LaCroix, alcoholic.
Yes.
It seems to me like LaCroix did the same thing. Like, I'd never heard of it, and then all of a sudden fucking everyone drank it. And that's how White Claw is. It's like, I'd never fucking heard of White Claw. And then Ben from the local group, like, he had brought some one time. He's like, oh yeah, I like them because they're like, you know, low calorie kind of like seltzer water with alcohol.
That's what they are, yeah.
And then he brought those over and then just fucking everywhere.
Yep.
Just everywhere.
No, I've seen a lot of like seltzer water stuff pop up. Like there's energy drinks versions of those which taste horrible, at least to me. And then yeah, so I mean, surprised. Like I know they're doing. I think I mentioned it, like some sort of like seltzer fest, hard seltzer fest.
Great.
So yeah,
Sounds awful.
Yeah, correct. Four Lokos coming out with a hard seltzer.
I can't believe Four Lokos is still around.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
obviously they changed their formula to.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone knows
Yes,
that now.
yeah.
And that happened like many
Yes,
years
it
ago.
did.
It was over a decade ago. It was when I was in college.
Yeah.
Because I remember we were really disappointed when they made the change.
Yeah.
Because for some reason we drank Four Loko in college.
I mean, yeah.
Because it was like 14% and was like $2.99.
And also was just chock full of so much caffeine and other energy drink stimulants that you'd be drunk and energetic as fuck.
Not getting sleepy.
No.
No.
Fun fact, you can take one of those little water additive energy drink thingies and put the energy just right back in there if you really want to.
Yeah, it's very true.
Are they still 14%?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, so they just took out the energy drink side
Yeah.
of things. Okay.
And then the Four Loko seltzer will also be like 12 to 14%. It's not like a low alcohol hard seltzer.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. Yeah, Four Lokos has never been a session drink.
No.
I'm going to do my vertical of Four Loko.
I feel like that has to have an expiration date on it.
Oh, I hope so.
Definitely doesn't age; it just expires.
It just turns solid.
Yeah.
Kind of like burger grease if you've left it on aluminum foil too long.
Yes. Yes.
Same consistency.
Gross.
Yeah. It's all the sugar
Yes.
and fat.
Uh huh.
I'm nauseous now.
Good. Good. I mean, I'm sure you could see some of that grease if you open up that pizza box.
I was actually thinking about eating a slice of pizza on the podcast.
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea. No.
Just like chewing gum during a RPG system of some sort.
Yes.
That was great.
Yes. Everything around the gum chewing was great.
Oh, no, even the gum chewing was great.
No.
Not to
no.
listen to.
Oh, no, it still was. It was
No, it's horrible.
That was bad.
But that was the point, and it worked. So,
That doesn't mean it's great. That just
No.
means you fulfilled your purpose that you wanted to do with it.
anyway, moving on to kind of keep things on pace with non-board game chit chat before we start the board game chat. I do want to say I watched the new Dave Chappelle thing on Netflix.
Uh huh.
It's
Sticks and Stones.
yeah, Sticks and Stones.
That's his 5th one on Netflix.
Yeah.
So
not my favorite.
I would agree it's not my favorite.
It's probably my least favorite of I think almost anything I've seen him do.
He released 2 at the same time. Was that the
twice.
last?
He released 2 and then 2 more.
I'm not sure I've seen any of them.
Gotcha. There's
Except the newest one. I did watch the newest one.
yeah. No, there's good stuff you can find in all of them, but I feel like I don't know. He just it feels like he just doesn't give a fuck.
This one felt almost vindictive.
Yeah.
It
Well,
felt
no,
like-
it's 100. I mean, and it's sort of like you need to watch them sort of in order to understand why he's bitching or why he's
the
complaining
progression.
about. Yeah,
of-
why he's complaining about certain things. And so
Well, I just came in on this one and I thought it was great.
There were parts of it that I loved. Like
Uh-huh.
at the end, he does a whole sketch about like the opioid epidemic, and then a sketch about gun control,
Yeah.
and like, or not really a sketch, a bit, I guess.
Yes.
And those 2 bits were great, but a lot of his stuff like in the middle and like lead up was like, I feel like now you're just trying to offend people just because
Well, I
it's
mean-
what you want to do now.
Yeah. That's sort of always been his
see,
style, but it's been more.
I felt like before
I felt
he
it
was
was a little bit more nuanced, maybe.
Yeah,
but-
before it was more like he didn't care if he offended you. He had opinions about things.
Yeah.
Now it's like I feel like he's doing things just to get a rise out of people, not necessarily because he thinks it's like the funny joke or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, he said it's like, it's basically he's trying to get you to think about things, whatever the excuse is, right?
Right.
But no, it's like his first one of the 4, he had a bit about the 4 times he met O.J. Simpson. Those were all great. I love
that was fantastic.
Yeah.
In addition to that, after I watched that, while Dead Cells was downloading, and then I played Dead Cells for like an hour before I went to bed.
What'd you play it on?
Xbox.
Okay, so you're using a controller.
Console. Yes, I'm using a controller.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I've played it with a keyboard. It's a lot harder.
Yes.
I could see that. Dead Cells is really good. I see why you guys raved about it.
Yeah.
My first playthrough, I made it all the way to the bridge, and I made it I almost beat the guy.
That's impressive.
I got him down pretty low health.
It took me forever to get to the bridge, but it is a very different game now than it was.
Yeah.
They did change a lot.
Well, so my first playthrough, I didn't realize, especially for the first level, I didn't realize that there were the time doors at the end. So I was exploring fucking everything.
Well, and they changed.
And those are different.
Yeah, those are different now. So
okay, but so I took my time and really explored all the dungeons the first time through, and then I died at the bridge, and then I was like, well, maybe there's good stuff behind those doors. So I speed raced them, and they seemed like there was quite a bit of good stuff behind them. But then I kept dying right before the bridge. Because I wasn't as powerful because I didn't take time to find everything.
Well, so. I mean, it's there to be like, all right, you ran through, so here's some good stuff to make up for the stuff you couldn't grab.
Yeah, the stuff
by
you missed.
exploring everything. Yeah.
Right.
And I definitely got better at the game once I realized that speed is a factor, not in terms of how quickly you go through, but how quickly you're just moving around, and ground pounds are the thing in that game.
Yeah, they'll fuck some people up.
Yeah.
I definitely liked it. It was a lot of fun. And then right as I got done playing that and was going to bed, Doom finished downloading. So I'll talk about Doom, I'm sure, next week.
Nice.
Because I bet I get some time. I have not played the
2016?
Doom.
The 3-year-old Doom?
Yes, I have not played Doom.
I haven't played it either, so.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's so good.
Yes. I've heard great things.
It is one of the best single-player shooters that's come out in the last decade.
I mean, that's having not played it, just from secondhand knowledge, I would agree with you on that.
Yeah. I'm excited about the sequel.
Eternal?
Yeah, it's not Doom 2, but it's basically Doom 2.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of Gears 5 that comes out tomorrow, but with that Game Pass, you can get it early. It's a fucking 100 gig download. I was like, well, there goes a fifth of the fucking data cap.
I mean, I think Doom was 90. Doom was huge.
Yeah,
Because it has all the expansions on the Game Pass version, too.
Gears 5 is cool. It's Gears of War, but they cut of War now, so it's just Gears. And I played a little bit of a weird twin stick pinball game. So it's an over top head third person game with you have a bat and a sword, and you're batting around these little balls, and they're hitting all these bumpers, and they're giving you energy, and you're trying to get all of the bumpers down, but some bumpers will turn them into bad things, and you have to stop those, and you have life, and it's like a pinball.
Okay.
Pinball with a bat.
Have you heard of, was it Yoku Island Express?
I've heard of it, but I have not.
I've heard good things about it, and that one's Metrovania and pinball. So,
all those, the Switch got all of the, a whole bunch of Super Nintendo games.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
A couple days ago, 20 Super Nintendo games. And then they announced, so in NES, they were adding new games monthly. So they added the Super Nintendo games and said, we're not going to be adding these monthly, which is super shitty. Sorry, no more monthly updates for new games, but here's some Super Nintendo games. So it's going to take forever for that library to build. But
that sucks.
And it was also just so happened to be a year from launch last year when they added in the Nintendo games. So this was please don't unsubscribe from our shitty online service that is Switch Online.
Yep.
Except Tetris 99 is still a lot of fun. They added in a new daily system, and you can buy all the old skins and stuff with tickets.
Gotcha.
So I can go back and get that old Game Boy skin now because I missed that tournament.
Sweet.
Yeah. Tetris 99 still really fucking hard.
I can imagine.
People are real good at Tetris, especially a Battle Royale Tetris.
Yes.
Also not surprising.
Well, since you did that, I mean, we can mention what we're drinking since Jeff took a nice big sip of it.
So mine's real basic. I am back to just drinking Founder Centennial IPA. Because you can get $15 $10 for a 15 pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
You saved that. Okay, good.
So I was drinking the Dogfish Pumpkin Ale, which is my favorite seasonal pumpkin beer. Less pumpkin, more kind of just like spice. Enjoyed a lot. And now I've going to dig into one of my last double Two-Hearted.
What did you think about those? Anne was shitting all over them. And
Two-Hearted is a fantastic beer, one of the best IPAs out there. And this is a double IPA that's boozy and doesn't really taste like Two-Hearted, so it lost all of its stuff that makes it like a really good IPA.
Gotcha. So you wouldn't get it again?
Yeah, probably not. If I was going to drink something 11%, I'd just find another probably better double IPA.
Gotcha.
Especially for the price.
Yeah.
And well, that's the only thing that holds me back from it is the price. I actually thought it was a very good beer. I really liked it. As somebody who loves Two-Hearted, I really liked the one of them I had. I'm not going to spend over $3 a bottle on them.
Some places were selling it $4 a bottle, limit it to 2 bottles. And this is a standard everyday beer bottle. This isn't any fancy $3.75 or Bomber. It's just
a 12-ounce beer bottle for $4 fucking dollars.
Yes.
So
I would rather just drink Two-Hearted. I don't need to drink double Two-Hearted again.
I mean, of course, $4 for a 12-ounce beer is about what you pay at any fucking brewery. That's about the ratio of beer.
But when you're in a liquor store, it's usually much cheaper than that.
Yeah. But then you also don't have to pay for tip. So it's like there's
Everywhere's
other factors.
Everywhere's like a $6 beer at this point in Denver.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I'm tired of paying for $6 beers.
It's so nice when we go back to Michigan to visit Megan's family, because we're going to Marquette, which is where she went to college, and they've got like 3 breweries there. And like a $5 beer is like their like limited release barrel aged high ABV. And it's like, oh yeah. It's like, I can get a pint of your IPA, your like standard house IPA thing for like $3 a pint. Nice.
Yeah.
Gonna get real drunk.
Yeah. I miss like $4.50 $5 beers at like craft breweries, but that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Especially the places we go for game night, which is most of the places that I'm paying for beer.
Yes. And then I'm drinking just Dry Dock Apricot Blonde.
Solid beer.
Solid standard beer. Still had some left over from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We're all back to drinking beer on the podcast.
Yeah.
For this one episode, at least. Yeah.
Until I have my second leg surgery in the next couple weeks.
Yay.
And back to not drinking.
Yay?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad surgery. It's a good surgery.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be fixing your leg more.
True.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
No, if they're going to go in and be like, all right, we just feel like just fucking with your legs some, then that'd be a bad surgery.
Just gonna break this thing for the fucking fun of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of your broken leg, you broke it snowboarding.
Yeah.
I got new snowboard boots.
Yeah, I saw you showing off your snowboard boots.
They are fucking comfy.
Because you actually got some in the right size.
Yes.
Which was
Women's
a trial.
size 8.5. Yeah. I went to, I always want to call it Sneak Grab, but it's not that anymore. It's, I don't know, a different sale now because it's a different company, but it's the biggest snowboard sale. And
happens around Labor Day.
yeah. And I went to go get snowboard boots, and like the guy I went to try them on with, like he sat down and he measured my feet, and like I could just see him deflate because they must get some kind of a commission because one, they were all very eager to help.
Weird.
And 2, the look of defeat that came across his face when he had to give me the news that I can tell you right now, dude, there's no snowboard boots in stock in your size. I was like, that sucks. I was like
exist or like we're already gone?
Well, so, because I was like, I mean, my current boots are like an 8.5. Like, I see that my toe there is on like a 7 for my snowboard boot size. Like, my current boots are like an 8.5. I was like, you got something like that? Like, maybe, it'll be a little bit loose, but if it's still pretty good. He's like, I bet your current boots hurt your feet a whole lot, don't they? And I was like, I mean, I don't think it's related to that, but you're not wrong. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm not going to put you in boots that don't fit. I'm sorry. I was like, well, I appreciate that. And I was like, well, what about women's? Do you have anything in women's size? My first pair of boots I ever got for snowboarding were women's. He goes, okay, well, since you asked, yes, I do. He's like, I would recommend that, but you would be astounded how bad some men take it if you suggest they wear women's boots. I was like, no, I wouldn't be surprised.
I am not above this.
No.
I am not at all surprised that some guys take that really poorly because they have fragile little egos.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, I'm
We've already crushed your ego down enough that you can
It's
take all of this.
thoroughly
news.
beaten down.
Yeah. And also, when you know it, the woman or the shoes you have, they just look like snow boot. Like
Yeah.
They've got like a teal green on like one part that I guess you could vaguely describe as a feminine color, but it's teal green. It's like it's really not.
Yeah.
And it's not like your pants aren't going to be covering the entirety of your boot anyways.
Yeah. Because he was like, I won't bring you out anything like too pink. And I was like, dude, I was like, if bright pink boots are going to be the boots that fit me the best and don't hurt my feet when I ride, I'll buy bright pink boots.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, I got you. So, yeah, so I got some sweet new snowboard boots. I'm very excited about them.
Woo.
Woo indeed. Megan also got new snowboard boots. They are also in women's size.
She didn't pick up the men's size, huh?
No, she did not. So, I think with all of that, we can officially move past banter and things.
Yeah. I think we got a lot of banter done.
Yeah. But yeah, so Zach, we'll start with you because you didn't have a lot to contribute to the what have you been doing banter. What games have you played?
We've been playing a decent amount. We started up, or we had another round of Imperial Assault with Jeff and I, as well as Ant, Paul, and Julie. Mm-hmm. We're continuing that campaign. I have the
Cyborg Punchy Lady?
Yes, Cyborg Punchy Lady sounds that sounds about right.
Okay.
The Bionic Woman?
Yes. And you've got no, you don't have the sniper. You have the
I have the trooper that uses like heavy weapons and has like a vibro bayonet as like an experience item. He's really good at killing troopers, or he really likes killing troopers.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we also have a sniper and then a sort of demolition person that can just blow up squares.
A Wookiee with a grenade launcher.
Yeah. Yes. But the last couple sessions of ours have not gone well for us.
No.
We may have won one of the last three.
We just keep getting pounded because all those scenarios are really, really tightly tuned. And if you're not really on top of everything, you're like, if you spend a turn just killing stuff, you're 2 turns behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you don't kill stuff, then he can come kill you.
Which is easy.
Yeah.
Because now he has 5 dudes shooting at one guy.
Yeah. Because each one of us has 2 activations, right? And like you can attack
Correct.
people or you can move, interact, that sort of stuff. Each of his figures has the same thing, except he can't attack twice unless it specifically says he can. But if he each squad has 3, if a squad has 3 people in it, that's on an activation he's activating 3 people versus each one for only doing once, right? And so it is I always feel like we're at a disadvantage no matter what. And
like turn 1, my dude was almost wounded, and I had 18 health, which is plus 6 of my
Goddamn.
normal health. Because I'm at 13, and then I have my armor. Or I think I was 12 plus 5 plus 1. Yeah.
And I think part of it too is just I feel like we never know the urgency of the time that we need until it's too late.
Yeah. Because we had 6 turns, and then we got it on turn 5, but then the scenario shifts, and we have to survive another 4 turns after that.
Yeah.
And we have no idea that that's going to be coming or not.
Oh, yeah, that's annoying.
And to be fair, Ant wasn't reading ahead on that, so he wasn't planning for that, right?
Right.
It was just it just felt like it hurt. It always hurts us more than him because it's attrition for us. Whereas, especially in this one, he kept getting more and more threat each round.
Yeah.
And
he gets round plus 1 for threat each. Well, the first round he got he always gets 4, right?
Yeah.
So
Something
the first
like
round he
that.
got 5, and then he got 6.
Oh
Then he got 7.
no! It was 4 the first one, then 5, then 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but this scenario, because we went to turn 5 when we triggered the second half, then we had to go another 4 turns. So he was at 5, 6, 7, could have gone to 8 plus 4 for his threat.
And so this one was this one we were going into a base to try and shut down this defense so that the rebels could take the base that we were in, but also steal the defense codes for Jabba because we're playing with Jabba,
Jabba's Realm.
Jabba's Realm expansion campaign thing.
Okay.
And so we're in there, and there's actually at this base there's a Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
And you could throw dudes into it.
You could throw dudes into there, and so other people were doing other things in the map. I was throwing dudes into into the Sarlacc pit.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, and what's annoying a little bit is that my character. So, in order to push someone into the Sarlacc pit, you had to test strength and succeed.
Yeah.
And then if you got one success, then you push them one space. If you got 2 or more successes, you would push them 2 spaces. And
Okay.
I could usually get to someone who's 2 spaces away, and sometimes it would be I'd have to spend like 2 turns pushing them,
Yeah.
or 2 actions pushing them in order to get them where I actually want them to go. One of my XP things was something called like Gundrack Throw, which was
Okay.
if I had it, each round I could just throw somebody to like up to 2 people 2 spaces away. I didn't have to test for it. I just would exhaust the card, and then I would just be throwing people
With your
Okay.
bionic arms.
with my bionic arms. And I was
Yeah.
like, damn it, I wish I'd have known this was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I'd known there's a place I could throw people into. But also, reading the card, if I threw people into doors, it would unlock the door because I was throwing them through doors.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But this one, we ended up getting the code, or we ended up activating the console. And it's like, hey, you have to decide now. You don't have enough time to do both those things. Do you want to help the rebels or help Jabba? And Jabba was stealing the codes, whereas like bringing down the defenses for the rebels if you wanted to help them. And so you're basically
Right.
only doing one of them, and we chose the help the rebels, which
As you do.
yeah, and Jabba was like, I don't like that you did that. That's not cool. And then the Imperials are like, well, we'd rather just blow up this base than let the rebels have it. So now they were setting charges, and so there were 6 charges they were setting on the map that if they went and interacted with it, they would set a charge, and if we spent movement points, we could defuse the charge.
Okay.
But this is where, because it lasted 4 more rounds, he was getting more and more people. He was getting more and more squads that had like 3 people in it. And so I could go and deactivate 2 things, and then he could just send his dudes to come and deactivate or re-put bombs on there, rearm the bombs. And we had to control 6 of the, because there were 6 of them. We had to defend 2 of them, because if you ever got 5 bomb spots filled, 5 bombs armed, then it would blow up and we would lose.
Okay.
Well, don't forget the absolutely critical 3 turrets that we had to help us defend the base that would do
Jesus.
1 damage at the end of each round, which is less than a bee sting worth of damage.
Yeah.
Like a regular stormtrooper has what, 4 or 5 health?
3 to 5 health, depending on how, like, which level they're at.
A
But
standard
would have 3.
Yeah, so and
If
all
all-
the turrets couldn't actually see each other, so we couldn't even kill one stormtrooper that come onto the field 3 at a time
Yeah.
per turn with these stupid turrets.
Yeah. And so,
Jeez.
like, we were stuck at a point where it's like we either have to move to defuse these things or attack and hope that we can kill one of them or 2.
Yeah.
But if you spent time attacking, then the other ones can just go and, like, arm all of those things. And so
Yeah,
we were just stuck in a spot where we couldn't do anything.
yeah. So it ended
Great.
like a turn later.
The end of the next turn, I believe.
And we were like, yeah, there's nothing we can do.
Yep.
There was like, and he got extra reinforcements for us choosing like the path that we did
Yeah.
on top of all of his regular
It
dudes.
may have been easier.
Okay.
It may have been easier had we decided to help Jabba, because then he wouldn't have gotten his bonus threat anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we would have had to fight those security drones, which sounds like it would have been hard.
Probably.
So-
That makes sense.
Yeah. So no, we're getting
Pounded.
pounded. We have a couple. I think we have 2 other missions and then the finale. And it's like one of the things is like I can't see how we can get much stronger than we are, given like the weapons that we've been seeing are like maybe there's one that's good for us or better, but
We just unlocked the 3rd tier, and since we have all of the expansion's weapons in there, the rulebook says we have access to every single card, period.
Right.
But since every expansion's card is in there, we've just been doing a draw,
yeah.
so we don't have like pick and choose everything that we want for like the perfect weapons or anything like that.
Okay.
And so
yeah.
our draws have been okay. We might get one thing we want
Yeah.
out of them. I think we ended up buying like a scope or a plasma cell or something for Paul's sniper.
Yeah.
And maybe
I grabbed
armor.
the weighted blade. or
yeah,
something.
that's right, for your punch daggers.
Yeah, my punch daggers.
have weighted heads or
Yes.
something on them now.
Nice.
Yeah, and if you like when you're attacking and you roll bad, and then it's just sort of like, well,
This is just the way it is now.
Well, he just respawns the rest of the squad. Because
Yeah.
if you finish the squad off, it's expensive to bring them back. But if there's one dude left of the 3, it's much cheaper to bring in those extra 2.
Yeah.
So you really want to try and finish off whole squads, which we didn't in that scenario.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So Imperial Assault, still real hard, still getting boned by the Empire.
Yeah, but we're finishing this to then go back to Gloomhaven, and it's like, yeah, I would like. I mean, it's one of the things. Like, I would sort of rather play Gloomhaven at this point, but
Fair enough.
But Ant has like all of
yeah. No,
Imperial
I'm still glad that we're playing this, but after this, I'll be, at least for right now, I'd be like, okay, I'm sort of good.
I'd rather play the app.
The co-op one,
Yeah.
yeah,
Then-
I would definitely do that.
I could get that. I
I liked the app campaign that we ran for the first one.
Gotcha.
And I think there's 2 more campaign apps now. Or
Okay, is it
campaign.
4-player only still, or
Pretty sure.
okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No Overlord in those.
Well, I knew that. I just didn't know if it was like, oh, now you can have another person or not.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
like, that's
Yeah,
what they did in
I think
Mansions.
I think it's
so.
only. I think it's only 4.
Okay.
But now there's Jabba and then the Hoth campaign.
Gotcha.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the app a lot though. It's a good app.
Nice. The only other thing that I played that was just me was I played Cribbage earlier today too, and I only really wanted to comment on one thing. We were doing group play, and Allison, in her hand, she had 3 5s and a 10, and then the card that flipped was a 5. So that's a 28-point hand. That's the second best hand you can have in the game.
Damn.
The only thing that would be better is if the 10 was a jack that matched the 5, which Wes, her teammate, had that card. It was like so close. But what was funny is that even with that, they only won by 3 points, I want to say. Technically, her last hand was like a 20-point hand, but they were like we were at 118 and they were at 116. So even if it was a 6-point hand, it still would have won them. But I was like, that is definitely the highest hand I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think it's the highest I've ever seen.
Yeah. But the game before that, it was Andrew and I, and we were playing against those two, and we ended up skunking them. So this will be the first official game of Cribbage that I've won on that board. That even with these 2 games, we were technically up 2-1. So I'm calling it a win.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll technically allow it.
Yes. Oh, and then also after that, or before that, we did play Canasta too, which I forgot to mention.
Oh, damn. You play a lot of games.
Yeah, and Canasta is like 85, 90% hand and foot, right? I think hand and foot is technically called like hand and foot Canasta. But it plays pretty similar to it, except you only have 1 hand instead of 2. And there are just a couple rules of like you just need 1 book, or they just call it Canasta in that, to go out instead of a dirty and a clean.
Yeah.
And you can draw the entire discard pile if the one card you can play the top card with just cards in your hand, or if it's connecting to something else that you've already played out. But more or less similar to that, black 3s are only worth 5 instead of negative 100 or whatever it is, negative 50, whatever that is in hand and foot. But you can only play them out if you're going out on that turn. So
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
and then you can't go out if you pull up the entire discard pile. But otherwise, pretty similar. So when I was like, afterwards, Allison was like, all right, what'd you guys think? And I was like, both Kaiser and I are like, more or less, it just felt like we were playing hand and foot, except with just 1 hand. So I don't know if I like one of them better than the other right now, but the cards were not with us there, and we definitely felt that. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That can be a problem with a lot of those
Exactly.
games. Like, I've definitely had some hand and foot games that fucking drug
Mm-hmm.
because people just couldn't finish.
But that's basically it for me.
Right on. Jeff, what about you? What have you been playing?
Went to game night, played some Cartographers, which is that role player tale,
Flip and fill.
flip and fill.
Yeah.
Second game that I'd played of that, got all new scorecards. If anyone doesn't remember what that is, it's flip and fill with polyominoes, and you can fill them with different terrain types, villages, forests, farms, and rivers. But it has a little interactivity in there with a monster attack that we'd flip, and you would hand it off to the left or the right, and people would put a polyomino on your board in a not great spot because you get negative points for everything next to that, I really fuck Zach with
fucked
one of
me
them.
so hard.
He had a nice 4x4 grid of just empty space, and I was like, I'm just gonna put this U shape right in the middle.
And it was right next to a mountain space, so there was one space where the empty spot of the U went right on top of the mountain, so it'd be really hard to fill that one in. So I went from -2 points that round to -12.
Yeah.
Because it was the last card before
Scoring. Yep. So there wasn't
or
much...
the second to last card, but yes.
Yeah. Cartographer's still a neat flip and fill. I wish there was more polyomino shapes in there, because it's only 13 cards in the deck, one of which is a wild 1x1.
Yeah.
We got some more ruin cards where you have to there's mountains and ruins on the board, and if you get a ruin card, you draw another, and then you have to have your polyomino fill one of the ruin spaces on your board. So the game's less about filling in every square.
Which you can't do.
No, and more about getting the most points off of the scorecards. And it has scorecards similar to Isle of Sky. There's A, B, C, D. First season's A, B, then B, C, etc.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's certain things you'll care about more per round.
Because if the B is a house, then you'll care about it the first and second.
Yeah. But after that, you
don't give a shit about them anymore.
Unless, and then there's 4 different score types, and then there's 4 or 5 different cards for each score type.
And they're fairly different. So
Cartographers is a decent flip and fill.
Yeah, no, I like it.
What did you think about it compared to Welcome to?
Welcome to is more about being ultra efficient about everything, because you want to fill in every space. The more spaces you fill, the more score you're going to get. Where Cartographers is more about using the pieces as strategically as possible.
Okay.
You still have all the same information. It's just whoever uses it the best.
Yeah.
But you're not constrained by this can't go next to that, or this has to go here. The only thing that ever comes up with is the ruin spots.
Right on.
And I feel the scoring cards are they have a lot more variety in them than Welcome To's ones were. So the two different games of it I've played have felt very different because of the scoring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the first one we played, it was you wanted farms next to rivers, and you would just get points for every river that was next to a farm. In this one, it was you wanted to build a farm on a ruin space, and then you got points for every river and farm next to that ruined farm space.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then also you have some of the different cards are you can do forest or house, and you're well, I don't care about house this round, but it's going to help me more if I do the house for 2 rounds from now.
Yeah.
And so trying to balance when you want to get those points, and is it worth to get some points now versus more points later on.
Yeah.
So I feel like Paul said he liked the game. Did he say he liked it more than Welcome to?
I don't know.
I feel like he said that, but I'm not sure.
I don't recall.
And I do like the monster cards, just because as much as you super fucked me with that, I did find it funny. I just looked at it and I was just God damn it, Jeff, you are an asshole.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it throws a little interactivity in there that doesn't ruin the game in any way, shape, or form, because you're not trying to fill every space. You just need to try and be as efficient as possible, and then try and fix all the monster spaces by filling in next to it so you don't get negative points.
Yep, and then having to deal with those versus trying to get your score from the scoring cards, because usually you're well, I want to do that, but I need to plug up the whole of those monsters, because it's every season you're getting negative points for those.
Yes. So just leaving them to do what they need to do is a poor choice.
Yes.
After that, we played some Cabo. Played with Zach, Blaze, and myself. Blaze had not played before, so we taught him the game, which is easy to do.
Yes.
Zach was doing very well at the beginning of that game. I think he scored a 6, and then a 0, and then another 0. But it all came crashing down
as it usually does.
Where I got a lucky couple. I started with 3 9s in my starting 4, so I was able to exchange 3 out almost first thing.
That's pretty
and
great.
I had pulled another 9 before I discovered I had a third 9, or I would have had all 4 9s. But I discarded it, not knowing that I had an additional 9.
Yeah.
Ended up with Blaze almost hitting 100. He hit 101.
Yeah.
Because if you hit 100, your score resets back to 50. and then you go from there. But Blaze ended up liking it a lot. He could understand why I continue to talk about the game and play it a lot.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And then I played Terraforming Mars,
Yes.
as did we all. But not at game night.
No.
No.
So what have you been playing, Adrian?
I only got to play one other game. At game night, I taught Greg and Kyle, friends of ours, fans of the show, awesome mini painters. I think Paul,
Our Kingdom Death
Greg's
Gorm.
awesome. Kyle doesn't, I don't think, paint minis at all.
I don't know.
No idea.
Apparently, they were telling me a little bit about it last night. Apparently, Kyle was the one who bought all
Wanted
the
to get-
stuff to get into it.
Yeah.
And then Greg ended up being the one who got into it like crazy and got really, really good. But anyway, I taught the two of them Keyflower. So I've been bringing Keyflower off and on for a little while, just because I do super like Keyflower, and it's not that hard of a game to teach if you play it regularly enough to remember how to teach it. This is one of my better teaches, but it still was far from good. There's still a lot of room for me to improve my teach on that one. But we had a good time. They both really liked it and spoke very positively of it. Greg ended up winning. I got second, and then Kyle came in last. And it was about 18 points between each tier, so it was fairly evenly spaced out. But it was really good. I liked it. Keyflower's a really good game. I like the combination of like using your meeples to bid for things as well as like to place to work. And I like how they have like the different colors, so you can strategically try to use a certain color if you think the other players don't have it. You can use that to really lock down an area to where only you can use it, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, that's what I played. Just some Keyflower, nothing else. Kind of laid back week aside from all of the streaming of games. So,
Do we want to talk any about Terraforming Mars?
we can, yeah, we can talk about Terraforming Mars.
Our best stream yet. In
Yes.
fact.
But yeah, so we did a 4-player Terraforming Mars stream. We left out Colonies and Venus. Colonies because like I think it can do weird things to some of the pacing of the game. And
Yeah, because
I don't own Venus.
there's that energy thing you can do and just like pound energy in to spend, so you don't actually have to produce energy. So it's kind of like a weird. And I'm sure Turmoil will change even more with all of its.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's going to add a political phase into the game.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how that ends up working out.
Yeah.
Um.
Basically played with a map, Elysium, and Prelude.
Yep. And a can full of promos.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it went really well. We played the full 4-player game while interacting with chat a little bit and like doing all of that in just over 2 hours.
Yeah.
The game was I thought we were going to finish in about 2 hours, and then we had some audio visual issues that kind of bogged it down right
Twitch
at the end.
had some issues.
Twitch.
We
Yeah,
can
turns
actually
out-
blame Twitch for once.
Turns out that was entirely Twitch. That was
Yep.
not us. So it was good. There was a mini game going on in chat during that stream too, as Ofer and Paul got into a tipping war by throwing pennies at us that are real pennies that we get.
Called cheers or
Like cheer, you can spend bits to do
Bits.
cheers or
Yeah.
something. I
Yeah.
don't fully understand all of the mechanics behind Twitch,
no.
but
Because
yeah.
people can do that now because we're an affiliate and people can subscribe to us and
Yeah.
all that fun stuff.
Ofer has taken over the lead because it shows your weekly leaders at the top of chat. Ofer is currently in the lead, and Paul has fallen to second. There is no third. Like it just says cheer to take number 3.
Yes.
So literally anyone could be
One
third.
penny could take third.
One
Yeah.
penny. So
You get to throw pennies at us instead
Yeah.
of dollars. I had the worst starting corporation prelude combination, starting hand combination I've ever had in any game of Terraforming Mars.
yes,
Like nothing combined well with anything. It was I had the pho blog, the Vietnamese Soup Corporation.
Yep.
My
No,
prelude.
it's the Vietnamese soup
Blogging.
media
Yeah.
corporates because it's the blog about pho.
Yes.
yeah, you're not even making your own pho.
The only thing that saved it was like I started with 2 titanium production from one of my prelude cards, and then I had a loan that bumped my money up because the pho blog starts with so little money. And then the other one was like get like 3 new prelude cards, choose one. So I would start with like 3 prelude cards instead of 2 at the start of the game. And then another one that just had nothing to do with any other card. But little did I know that both you and Megan would also go all space stuff. So we had 3 space corporations, with mine being the absolute weakest.
Mine wasn't a space corporation, and Megan's barely was she had the Jupiter corporation, which is kind of a space one.
It is very much a space one.
But I didn't. I just happened the way the cards came to do really well in space.
Yeah. So I got totally boned. I was not getting any space cards for my left, and I wasn't getting any space cards for my right, because they would be getting taken because you had good space cards. And so the only space cards I was ever going to get were going to be
the ones you drew,
which I didn't get any.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's how it was for me in Heat. So
we did do a good job of.
You started with the thermal corporation where you could spend thermal as money on top of like 2 good prelude thermal cards.
Yeah.
And yet he only beat you by a single
No,
point.
I'd lost. I had 4th.
I beat him by a point.
Oh.
No, it's because I was good at buying stuff, but none of my after the first 4th of the game, I never got anything that gave me board presence. And I was too busy buying other stuff to and I didn't get any good grass production, any plant production, so I couldn't until the end get any greeneries out. And so no, my board presence was garbage. The only thing I was hoping on was that I'd get point cards, which I got very few of those, and that I could I think I put down 7 of the oceans that came out.
Yeah, you did.
And so I was like, oh, I can do that in Heat and get a lot in there. And then I got too preoccupied buying things, and then I was like, as a corporation near the end, I'm like, oh, right, I was supposed to be building that Mars thing instead of just, here's more stuff here, here's more stuff for me. So I got that classic thing of just getting distracted buying things instead of actually trying to forward the overall goal of the game.
Yeah.
I got lucky and I pulled kelp farming out of the deck, which gives you a ton of plant production, followed by one that it's one of the convoys or something like that you get a ton of plant production if you already have plant icons. I had 2, and then I had a wild, which gave me +4. It gave me 7 plant production in 1 turn.
Yeah.
And that was a huge turn. It was, I think, second or third to last. Well, second to last, because I got 2 plant productions off that, and then the final. And I ended up not getting any city cards the whole game.
I passed 1 or 2.
Yeah, I bought a city just to get a city out there in a pretty decent spot, which I'm glad no one else did before, because I was going 3rd that round.
Yeah.
And maybe 3rd or 4th, and I was just like, I hope no one builds a city right there. And they didn't. So I was happy about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you want to see all of this in action, you can go over to Twitch, and the video's up there, and then it will be on YouTube. I had earlier said by Wednesday, I didn't realize it got split into a bunch of episodes. I'm going to have to learn how to smush them together and then re-export them.
When Twitch went down, our stream went down, and then went back up, and then down, and then back up. So there's 3 parts to the end.
So I'll have to figure out what I could do about that, but it'll be up soon.
But as soon as you learn how to do that, you can just do it with the Game of Thrones one, and then we have another 7 hours on...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we move on to news and Kickstarter stuff, Jeff, there's a bloody minute, correct?
There absolutely is. This might, for everyone that knows, I just played one Sunday. So why am I already playing Blood Bowl? Because it's 2 weeks until the next match. Well, my opponent next round had to go on a European vacation for 2 weeks. And since my game against Ant was done, he had gotten his game out of the way the day previous on Tuesday, and so he played 2 games back to back. This was of Faith, Power, and Dark Elf Glory, a Dark Elf team. He was champion last season, so this is our rematch from last season where he beat me 4-0 or something insane, because I kept knocking him down, kept pounding him, and not breaking his armor. That changed this game, however. I had 260k in inducements against him. His team value is absolutely batshit insane. He has 3+ moves and 2+ edge on his Dark Elf team. His team value was 190,000 gold. Or sorry, 1.9 million gold.
Jesus.
Almost 2 million gold.
That's a lot of gold.
That is a extremely high team value. So I got a fuckload of inducements off this guy. I took Sleevely, who is one of the better star players. He's like a Saurus, so he's plus move. He's 7 move, 4 strength, 1 edge, 9 armor, but he comes with block, guard, grab, and stand firm. So
Ooh, gross.
Grab is where you can take them and move them basically adjacent to your left. It's basically anti-sidestep, and literally anti-sidestep in the game. So if another player has sidestep where they get to choose to go, if you have grab, they cancel each other out. And so it just becomes a push as normal. His team has a fuckload of sidestep, and it came up very useful in this game, as well as stand firm, where he can't push me. Turn 1, it was a casualty fest. I blitzed one of his runners and badly hurt him out of the game turn 1. He came back and casualtied out one of my Saurus turn 1. His runners are armor 7, mine are armor 9, so that was not the best trade-off to happen, but the game went my way pretty quickly. He had a pretty quick turnover with a 1 reroll 1 on a dodge. I was able to pick up the ball in my end of the field and get it going down the pitch, but he knocked it out. He was going to do a pass into my end zone, failed the pass. That's where I got real lucky and turned this shit around. His team is ultra valuable, and I was really trying to bash him into the ground as much as possible, and that was very successful. I had, let's see, turn 5, I seriously injured one of his plus move blitzers. Serious injury ended up being a minus move, so he had a plus move blitzer who is now minus moved.
And that doesn't cancel the amount of money they then cost
they are
for
not,
having them plus move.
No, it is not.
So it's just a more expensive one.
It was his blitzer that had just gotten his second skill. So they come with block, and then he got a skill of dodge and then a skill of plus move. I don't know exactly what order that came in, but thankfully it's only 16 star player points, which is not hard to get. I kept trying to bash his plus move plus edge blitzer that has like 87 star player points, which is absolutely insane. 21 touchdowns on that player.
Damn.
Yeah, I was really trying to bash him. Didn't end up doing it, but got some real good armor breaks. I was stunning like crazy. I got 3 KOs. I had the BH runner, the serious injury blitzer. So on turn 8, just before I was going to score with my skink, I 3-die blocked his blodge jump up. Well, they always come with jump up, but his block mighty blow plus move witch elf. I believe mighty blow on witch elves is a strength trait which he needs doubles. So he had doubles and a plus move on this witch elf. Knocked her down, casualtied her out. They're only armor 7, dead. So he had to use his apothecary to keep one of his stars alive with 42 star player points. Reroll the apothecary, minus move. So plus move, another move break on his team and 2 serious injuries.
God damn.
At this point, he conceded to me. He was down 6 players, 3 knockouts, 3 casualties, and it was only going to go downhill from there. He conceded before I could score with my skink. So, but with a concede at ties, the person that conceded always just gives a free score. No one gets to start player points. But on a concede, I get his MVP. I get all of his winnings. I automatically go up in fan factor. I auto win the game.
He goes down in fan factor.
He auto goes down in fan factor, but that was definitely something he needed to do, or I was absolutely going to smash his team into the ground as hard as possible. Because his team and his stats are near perfect, and minus move breaking 2 of his players was like definitely the thing his team needed. Especially for winning the championship last season. Yeah.
Good job, Jeff.
Did
the vengeance feel good?
I bashed him into the ground real hard. Yeah, because, I mean, his team is just so perfect. Like, those plus edges. He has leap on those guys, so they just leap in on a 2+. They have guard.
God.
Yeah, so they have guard next to, so you can't even cage against him. Like, I was absolutely going to murder him as hard as possible. So I got 2 MVPs. Of course, I only got 1 skill out of it because I had 3 guys that didn't have their second skill. 1 and 3 could have gotten a skill off of just 1 MVP. Of course, it was the Crocs, who still hasn't gotten more than 1 fucking MVP, like, in his entire 3-season career. And
Fuck you, Croc.
still needs his 3rd skill. And so the same guy got it twice, got a skill. Plus Edge, of course, on a Saurus that is Edge 1. I will probably not take that and take, I don't know, Mighty Blow or something like that.
But then you can have Edge 2. You can slowly build your way up to where it's just like
Edge
an
3.
Edge 5.
Yeah, I just need 4 plus Edges in a row.
Hey, sounds like you're basically there.
Yeah.
Saurus, 6 move, 4 strength, Edge 5, armor 9, no other skills. I would rather give him break tackle, which is basically Edge 4 on a dodge.
Right.
Yeah. And a regular skill. So I'll probably give him Mighty Blow or something like that. Next game is against Skaven. Yeah. Skaven's going to be rough. They're going to be score heavy, and I'm going to hopefully be able to bash them before they can get the ball back. Skaven are real fast.
Right on.
And Chaos Cup was this weekend, which Anthony, our Blood Bowl patriarch of our league, and Paul went out to play.
I thought more from your league went too.
They may have, but I am only aware of Anthony and
I think
Paul.
I
think there are a couple, but
think
yeah.
there's like 3 or 4 of them that went.
Yeah. Well, my only updates are they didn't win.
No.
And
Paul got real drunk a lot.
Yeah, he had a bachelor party thing or something going on that same weekend. And a Pro Elf team won the Chaos Cup, which is insane to me because Pro Elves are generally bad. So Blood Bowl in like 3+ weeks because I'm super far ahead in schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means like probably no Blood Bowl talk for a while.
Yeah, no Blood Bowl talk for a while unless something crazy happens.
Right on. Well,
That's two wins.
that's 2 wins.
2-0.
2-0. Damn, Jeff.
Now's the time, Jeff. Now's the time.
You know, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win
Jeff
4.
went like 4-0 at game night the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won Cabo, I won Cartographer, won Blood Bowl.
Damn.
I beat Zach at Terraforming Mars.
You did.
Yeah, so that wraps up everything we've been playing. So let's get over to some news and some Kickstarters.
First up in news, Azul is getting a 3rd version because everyone loves Azul, but now with diamonds.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Azul Summer Pavilion.
Yeah. So at the turn of the 16th century, King Manuel I commissioned Portugal's greatest artisans to construct grandiose buildings and sought to build a summer pavilion to honor the most famous members of the royal family. And so in Summer Pavilion, you return to Portugal to accomplish the task that never actually began in real life. As a master artisan, you must use the finest materials to create the Summer Pavilion while carefully avoiding wasting supplies. Only the best will rise to the challenge to honor the Portuguese royal family. Apparently, it's very similar. You draft tiles from individual factories or a central location, use them to complete features on an individual game board. The game lasts 6 rounds, and one of the 6 colors of tiles is wild each round. Whenever you draft tiles, you cannot draft the wild color, but if 1 or more wild tiles are present in the factory you've chosen, then you must take 1 wild along with everything you choose. The first player to draft tiles from the center becomes starting player, but loses points equal to however many tiles they take. And then all of the tiles you draft are placed beside your game board instead of immediately being played. Once everything's been drafted, players take turns placing 1 tile on their board with the cost for that tile depending on where it's placed. Each board having 7 stars. Each star has space for 6 tiles, with each space showing a number from 1 to 6. And yeah, you're kind of trying to build your little star patterns from there. Yeah, there's
like
more
another
little
Azul
rules and stuff, but it's
version.
more Azul.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm sure it'll do well. And then there will be a 4th version of Azul.
Almost certainly.
Next up in news, Fantasy Flight had their State of Play? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, where they talked about all the stuff that they may or may not care about in the future.
Yeah.
A lot of LCG stuff.
Yeah. So one of the things they did a live AMA live stream with Andrew Navarro, their head of studio, where he answered a bunch of questions. There'll be a link to that in the show notes because they transcribed it, where it's basically just a free-form interview with fans. Some of the notes from it, Lord of the Rings LCG in its current form will end mid-2020 with some kind of new content following a brief break, but not a 2.0 kind of release. Game of Thrones LCG will finish the current cycle. Targaryen faction box and some kind of special release will be announced soon, which will mark end of cycles, and then they'll start another cycle. That's going to keep going. Arkham Horror LCG doing extremely well. No new plans for Netrunner.
Unsurprising.
Yeah.
Eldritch Horror is a completed game, and there will be no new Eldritch Horror content.
As soon as Arkham 3rd was announced, it
Yeah.
was like, Eldritch is done.
Yes.
Yeah. Elder Sign is completed. There will be no new content.
When
Descent
was
is
the last
completed.
time an Elder Sign expansion even came out?
A long time ago.
Yeah. I guess this is just confirming, like, this isn't going to happen anymore. This isn't going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rune Wars is done.
Weird.
Yeah. It's like Star Wars Legion is selling out everywhere.
Yeah.
That demo I did 2 years ago at Gen Con was pretty fun, though.
Yeah. But Descent, Imperial Assault also finished games. No new content.
Yep. And apparently they think one of the reasons why for Imperial Assault is it was like Legion was sort of cannibalizing its sales. So
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah. There will still be more digital content for the app and possibly also with Descent. They said no new physical content.
Mm-hmm.
well, because they also have a cooperative campaign thing like Imperial Assault. So
Yeah. So, yeah.
And there could be a Descent 3rd edition or something around the corner. But, yeah.
Yeah, that's everything for, like I said, there's a bunch of stuff. There'll be some links in the show notes. You can check that out.
I'm going to assume that Arkham Horror is doing well enough. Like they didn't say whether like the actual board game, the 3rd edition, I'm sure is going to keep getting expansions.
Yeah,
So,
that's duh.
yeah. And I think I'd seen another one too. They're like for Civilization: A New Dawn. They're like maybe some new content at some point, but nothing.
Which is
nothing in the pipeline.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
That game definitely needs more content.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Maybe Tapestry will be our new Civ game.
We'll see. Next up.
Next up in news, Terra Mystica, the thief that is Terraforming Mars's acronym, is coming
No,
out with-
Terraform Mars is TFM. Terra Mystica is TM. They are two separate things.
Disagree. I think Terraforming Mars should be TM. But it's getting a new expansion.
Merchants of the Seas.
Because it was like Fire and Ice was the previous one.
Yeah. So, develop your faction's nautical strategy, stake claim on distant lands, focus on the benefits of trade, double-sided player board, and over 30 tiles to add new avenues to victory. It is available for pre-order now.
$50 for this expansion.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Coming out this fall.
When it looks like it's adding the merchant stuff for all of the other expansions too. So
Yeah.
Yeah. But you now have an option to build a shipyard as well as new ships. Starting with only a dock, you'll have to upgrade a riverside trading house to a shipyard to get into the sailing business and then kind of go from there. There's more information on it. I don't like Terra Mystica.
Have you played a Gaia project at all, or
No.
because of Terra Mystica?
Because of Terra Mystica,
yeah.
I've not had any interest in either of them. You know, Terra Mystica, but space doesn't sell me. So
Yeah, I've played Terra Mystica, and I was like, So I'm sort of right there with you. Like I have no interest to put time in a learning Gaia project when I could be doing other things.
Yep. Which is a lot of how I feel about Terra Mystica. Like I feel like there might be a good game in there. I'm just not really willing to invest the time.
Yeah.
in
It seems like a lot of people like it.
It is very popular.
Next up in news, a German power metal band, well, not power metal, Powerwolf are in a board game about wolves hunting vampires.
And I believe they're making it.
Are they making it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So the members of the band are turned into werewolves
Okay,
who are hunting vampires.
Armata Strigoi.
Which is inspired by Powerwolf's song of the same name and tells a tale of Vlad the Impaler, supposedly one of the inspirations behind Count Dracula.
As we all
know. Extremely metal lyrics like, "We hail the cross and we kill by the Bible, and we drink the blood of the fallen believer." Several of Powerwolf's other songs also deal with vampires and werewolves, including song titles like "We Drink Your Blood" and "Werewolves of Armenia." So yeah, you control the lycanthropic members of Powerwolf, referred to as Sons of the Legends of the Night and Defenders of the Real Truth. As you assault the fortress of Tismana, the base of the last remaining vampire master and his apprentices. You vampires begin as invincible foes, so the werewolves will fight with other undead monsters to build up their strength in blood points, getting magical weapons and equipment. Select cards from your hand that allow you to move, attack, and perform other actions. Things like that. Thoroughly ridiculous.
Yes.
Is what it sounds like.
Their music's okay. I had not heard them before this, and then I listened to them, and they reminded me of like Blind Guardian almost.
Okay.
So they're definitely on the non-screamy portion of the metal universe.
Gotcha.
There you go. This will sell for £50 with pre-painted miniatures for a limited edition set that doesn't have a price listed here, and it's going to play 2 to 5 people in 75 to an hour and a half. So yeah, Powerwolf. Never thought I'd see the day when Metal Band made a board game.
I mean, the Decemberists did it. Why
That's
not?
true.
I mean, that's true, but they're also definitely not a metal band.
No.
So
But a band made a board game.
yes.
Now here's another one. Next up in news, we have some hot Clue news. It's about to be its 70th anniversary, and they're finally redoing the board.
Well,
Yeah.
I love that it's just the mansion's being renovated by actual interior designers.
Yeah. Basically, it's gonna look nicer, but everything else is gonna be exactly the same.
Yeah. It's just a great title of an of an article.
This will be the first time the rooms have been changed since 1949. So we might actually get like, I don't know, a flat screen TV in there,
Yeah.
a computer somewhere. But I think they're going to keep all the same rooms. They're just redoing kind of how they look. But yeah, all 4 of the rooms have been created by actual architecture and interior design firms. The winning room will potentially have an impact on the experience of playing too, with Clue's designers set to adapt the most popular concept into the game. We'll have an announcement of who wins on October 21st, and there's a link in this article that will be on the show notes where you can go vote on the new room that will be added to the game.
Well, you won't as you hear this, but if you're watching live, you will, because it ends tomorrow, September 9th.
September 9th.
Oh, I missed the date of voting ending.
But
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
October 21st, we'll find out who won.
So
Yeah, Clue's 70 years old. Crazy.
that is crazy.
Last up in news, Exit has sold an absolute fuck ton of games. Over 4 million Exit games have been sold.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is.
I remember we were at that Gen Con when they were releasing those first 3.
Yeah.
And it was just like, yeah, we're sold out, but, whatever.
They've been popular.
Yeah.
I'm super happy for Marcus and Inca. They are 2 of the nicest people I've ever met, and I'm super excited that their game has had so much success, especially because it's actually a good game too.
Yeah.
Like I feel comfortable wholeheartedly recommending it because I've always enjoyed playing it.
And yes, it's disposable, but it is at the very least, because it's disposable, like it's very cheap too.
Yes,
Which is nice. Because that's like some of the problems with like, the legacy games is like, oh, it's this many games, but then you're done with it, but they cost like $50, $60. It's like, this is like 15. And then it's a lot cheaper than escape rooms.
Like,
so
what's Pandemic's MSRP? $80?
I think that was season 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And those are one time.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the stuff that's like, you can keep playing, like Betrayal Legacy.
Yes.
You can keep playing. That's
Yeah.
probably worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But Exit, a good price for a good amount of fun for pretty much any level of player too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, some of the more difficult ones are going to be harder for some people, and I'm surprised that they keep coming up with new ways to play it.
Except how to introduce you to why you're in this situation.
That is true.
It's like you've been tired of you're supposedly the same people in
Yes.
all of these.
Yeah.
It's like I just need to escape. God damn it! I'm in another fucking escape room. How many do they have of now? 17?
I have all of them. I think it's 11 or 12.
Okay.
With the 2-parter.
Yeah, which we still need to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem with that is that a lot of people are like, we need to play this, Zach. So.
Yep. Got to just get those scissors out and start stabbing people until you thin them out.
That's the way to do it.
Cut them out of the situation.
Yeah. And to be fair, I'll just pre-cut every excerpt game I have just to make sure.
I've set this up for everyone already previously, and it's just confetti comes out of the box.
Guys, it's ready for you to solve puzzles.
Yeah. The first puzzle is put the game back to how it was.
Is that an Always Sunny in Philadelphia joke?
I don't even know.
It's the one where they make a board game and it's like, oh, don't be puzzled, don't be puzzled.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
And
yes.
Dennis just throws a beer bottle against the wall and they have to put it back together
Yes.
with like glue and tape
Yeah.
and then drink out of it.
And then drink out of it.
Yeah.
That show's a disaster.
Yeah.
I love it.
Soon to be the longest running like single camera comedy series of all time.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. 14 seasons. Like Seinfeld and Frasier and all them were only like 7 seasons. They've like doubled. And there's one long time ago that I'd never even heard of that was like 13, 14 seasons.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah. Great show.
Anyway, that wraps up news. So we can move on to some Kickstarters.
First up in Kickstarter is a big one, also known as After the Empire, Take 2. This one is very well funded.
Much better funded than last time.
Yep. $83,000 of its $30,000 goal, 1,064 backers, and just over 2 weeks to go. And you can pledge it for its one and only pledge possibility of $85. Not counting the $1 or the retail pledge.
Yeah.
Well, it's $8 now to get access to the pledge manager, so to buy it later.
Right.
Because I remember that was one of the problems they had with the previous one.
Yeah.
Is that there are enough people that are like, oh, this seems interesting, but I'll just do $1 for now and leave for later, and it's just like,
Yeah.
so.
Right. So just as a reminder for those who may have forgotten, After the Empire is being published by Gray Fox Games, who are our sponsors.
I think I said sponsor like 12 times at the beginning, but I don't
Yes.
remember if that was this recording or a previous
I
recording.
also have forgotten which recording it was. But they didn't ask us to specifically cover this. We just cover because like they're pretty big in the Kickstarter industry, and so we do. Yeah, so we're not covering this as part of the sponsorship, but they are our sponsors.
Yes.
So just for disclosure purposes, After the Empire is a tower defense and worker placement game for 2 to 4 players, where you're going to recruit refugees, gather resources, and fortify defenses in order to prepare for assault after assault of invaders seeking to sack your castle and take its riches.
It's tower defense board game.
Yep. Suppose it takes about 90 minutes. Has a whole shit ton of... I almost want to get this game just so that I have a bunch of castle pieces like to use for like D&D or something.
And it has 2 entire castles per player, stone castles and wood castles.
Yeah.
There are 8 castles that come with this game.
Yeah. That is fucking crazy.
And
a
a
lot of
ton
castle.
of minis, 50 soldier minis, 25 mercenary, 100 swordsmen, and 60 bowmen, all of which are Gray Fox exclusive, so they won't come with the retail pledge, but they provide these on their website after the Kickstarter.
Yeah,
so they're
correct.
not Kickstarter exclusive.
It is just, it would be tokens in the,
Or
on the retail.
cubes.
Yeah, or cubes.
Yeah. And those are things that like they'll sell sometimes or give away at conventions and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Depending on how many they end up with at the end of things. Yeah, just tons and tons of stuff. Basically, to play, you send workers out to take actions and collect resources necessary to build up your fiefdom. You fortify your defenses by upgrading your castle and hiring troops. Grow your kingdom with new buildings and refugees that bring different skills. Assign your troops to castle positions in preparation for the invasion. And then defend your kingdom from invaders. And so it uses these like little cards that you can kind of see on there. On the web thing, tell you like where monsters are coming from. You gain rewards for different levels of prosperity, and then the more prosperous you become, the more invaders will come after you. So you kind
Weird.
of have to balance that.
They're not going to come after those real shit towns.
Correct. If you fail to repel the invaders, your castle is sacked, and it costs you gold, damages your buildings, and wounds your refugees. And then at the end of the game, you add the value of your buildings, refugees, and secret goals to your gold total, and the player with the most prosperous fiefdom is the winner. So sounds fairly straightforward. I don't know. This sounds kind of interesting. I'm curious to see if it actually works out.
Because I know there have been some bad tower defense games.
There's been a lot of bad tower. It's a tough genre to really transfer smoothly into a board game.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And there are some playthroughs. I know Board Game Gumbo, I had mentioned before, did a playthrough of it.
Yeah, with a bunch of first impressions and stuff. Gray Fox Games has of Punchboard Media.
Punchboard Media.
Gray Fox Games has a 2-player playthrough up on there. And then there's the, standard Man vs. Meeple infomercial. Preview.
Yeah.
They've already started hitting a bunch of stretch goals. Next one coming up is an upgraded wooden cube to where they'll be textured instead of just plain wooden cubes. That's actually the next 3 stretch goals is upgrading the different cubes. Or they all 3 hit at the same tier. So they're all 3 at 100,000 to upgrade the stone, iron, and wood cubes. And then they have not yet announced anymore. But maybe there are, maybe there aren't. A handful of add-ons, things like that.
Neoprene mat, as per usual.
Playmats.
Yep.
Because each castle is your own.
Indeed.
So there's 4 different playmats for those 4 players.
Yeah. Shipping, $10 for the States for the base Noble Pledge, 20 for the UK, 20 for Australia. That's pretty good for Australia.
Yeah.
Um,
Hopefully they won't have a problem with their fulfillment center putting them in envelopes to send them out
my
to.
God. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Looks much better second time around.
Yeah.
A little bit of tweaks and getting it going.
Yep.
And it's fulfilling May of next year, which isn't too far off.
Indeed.
So that's After the Empire.
Yep. Go check it out.
Last up on Kickstarter this week is Gugong and its expansion Panjun? Sure.
Definitely not Panjun.
Panjun with a lot of
Accent marks.
But it's extremely well funded. 268,000 of its $25,000 goal. 2,742 backers, and just over a week left for this one. Its most popular pledge being $125. Like it's for everything, because no one can get this game right now.
Yes. Side note real quick. May says you did a pretty good job on the pronunciation.
Cool.
So Gugong Panjun is a 4 expansion modules in 1 box for the 2018 hit. All of them designed by Andreas Stedding with art from Andreas Resch. So I'm trying to remember if I've played Gugong.
You did. It was the game
that was the
you
one
hated.
I fucking hated.
Yes.
That's why it was hard to remember.
Yeah, blocked it out.
So it's got 4 expansions in there.
Yeah, so you're gonna face new challenges that will allow you to add all kinds of different content. 4 different modules. 2 of them add new locations to the board, while the other 2 spice your game in a variety of ways. Thank you for that incredibly useful description, guys. Module 1, Summer Palace. You travel to the Summer Palace of the Emperor, where you can obtain extra servants, jade, and the services of the mysterious court ladies. Players will have to score majorities in order to obtain the bonuses, but will also be able to manipulate the results by exchanging specific gifts with the officials. The Emperor is collecting a very particular type of gift. So that's one of the ones that adds a new location. Module 2 also adds a new location. The Peasants' Revolt, where during the Ming Dynasty, peasant revolts were common. So players gain support of the peasants in this expansion, but if the peasants are pushed too far, then the players will have to work together to avoid their wrath. Module 3, Stairs of the Palace, adds a new path, like to get to the palace on that central board. So you can take the shorter path that will require some different achievements, but the long path will let other players earn rewards first, but when they get close to the palace, they will have to pay higher taxes or risk seeing their envoys go back. And then Module 4, Extra Decrees and Gift Cards. So it's just more stuff to shuffle into the various decks of the game and
I would ask,
spread it around.
I would ask if you felt like this would improve your thoughts of the game, but I feel that your problems were like the base component of how the game functioned.
Yep.
You hated. So
and reading through that quick description of those 4 modules, nope, don't think any of them are going to change my mind on it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people really want this game.
That's very true.
I do not doubt it. Yeah, they're going to include some extra materials and things, and it all comes packed into one big deluxe big box with a retail value of $220.
That That's
Comes with a lot of stuff
$220
for the Kickstarter, like that they're
The
like
retail,
Yeah.
the MSRP.
Is there any game that's that expensive on the shelves? Like, I mean, Gloomhaven's
Cthulhu
150,
Wars?
160. What,
Cthulhu Wars, okay,
Yeah.
with ridiculous, huge, detailed minis.
Yeah,
Like maybe an all-in retail pledge of like
it comes with
Zombicide or Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Or not Call of Duty, Massive Darkness. I don't know where Call of Duty came
I
from.
don't know either.
Apparently Shut Up and Sit Down really liked it, and so that has also jacked the interest level for this game way up.
And to be fair, it was $220 for the deluxe base game and the deluxe expansion too.
Yes. It's a
So,
full deluxe set.
Yeah.
But
But those never hit retail anyways. So,
Yeah.
like, not even TMG has like those readily available for retail. You can only ever see them at like a con.
Yeah, but they're like, if we did sell it to retail, it would.
If we put an imaginary price of what we want to put on there, it
Yeah.
would be this expensive.
Yes.
yes. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say.
Yeah, you're the only one that's
Gugong.
played it.
I played it too.
Yeah,
Oh, did you play it?
I
Okay.
played with Zach.
I see.
I liked it more. Paul and I liked it more than Adrian. Did anybody else play with us? No, Geyser, and he didn't like it too. But I
Nope.
think for how long he wasn't expecting. But they didn't like, or at least Adrian didn't like the card play mechanism,
Not at all.
which is the base way of how you do things in the game. So
Okay, and that's it for Kickstarter.
That is indeed it for
That's
Kickstarters.
Gugong. Have at it, like everyone else.
Indeed.
And that's it for the show, except the last 15, 20 minutes where we talk for a while.
Indeed it is. Did we have emails?
No emails.
No emails.
At milehighgameguys.com.
We did have, however, new comment on episode 157 of Brimmed Crown, which was last Wednesday's. Paulo said his in Paulo's corner says, my audio comment was a serious comment. That was his comment about they could use a little bit more volume on the YouTube versions.
Hopefully this week should be better.
Which I think everything was kind of going through some of that. He continues, play-tested Cooper Island at Lieriacon this year, and it was very good. Excited for that After the Empire. Looks pretty interesting. So, yes,
yep.
we agree on all counts. Then, do I have another one?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think the previous one was just his, they could use a little bit more audio, which you already covered. Nice. No new
Nothing on
BGG
BGG.
stuff, so yeah. Listener feedback at a
All the feedback's
near minimum.
in Twitch chat and
Yes.
Slack.
Yes.
It's all immediate. So
Yeah. But since there's no listener feedback, I feel like we really need to stress how you can get in touch with us.
It's all of our contact
Yeah.
information.
The first way you can contact us is via emails.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can also follow us over on Twitter, where I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
I am Jeff_MHGG.
If you're a podcast listener and you hear little bits of us referencing stream-related things and you want to check that out, go to twitch.tv/MHGameGuys, and you can watch our streams.
Where we play board games and not just talk about them.
Yeah, you can see us play some games. You can see us talk about some games. You can see some D&D stuff. A lot of cool content that we're going to slowly start to really structure better. We're still kind of trying to find our groove of streaming and podcasting and where to go. Which going along with that, since we're in listener feedback, contact information, send us your thoughts. You know, some people, like Ofer was pretty honest the other day about, he kind of misses not having a Friday episode in a while. So let us know what content you liked, what content you didn't, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. The more information we have on that, the more we can do with that.
Because it's still sort of in flux on exactly how we are
Balancing things.
Yes.
Yeah.
We might just do a review podcast and then we release it the same day we want to play that same game. So you can see us play it and listen to our thoughts about it.
Yeah. So, continuing on the how to contact us, though. Just threw that right in the middle of all of that.
Yeah, probably not a good place for it.
No. Anyway, you can also find us over on Facebook and Instagram, both /MileHighGameGuys. We have our BGG Guild number 2731, where the weekly posts that used to be like the Wednesday banter and then what we were going to review for Friday, those are now going to, at least temporarily, shift into kind of a scheduling look ahead about what streams you can expect. And we're going to try and have those up typically on like maybe like a Friday or Saturday, leading into the next week. That way you can do a little bit of feedback before the Sunday episode that we record Sunday nights that releases on Wednesday. And then that way you'll know the schedule for any streams we're doing the following week.
And it's a good place for you to leave comments about those streams and podcasts after you listen to and watch them.
Exactly. For this week, for listening now, this will come out on Wednesday. The next and only stream we have planned by the time this is going to be a released episode will be our Friday stream of Brass Lancashire. The three of us, and then potentially a special guest who used to be on streams in the Denver area and will once again be on streams in the Denver area. Just working out some final details to make sure they can actually make it before I announce anything official. But we're working on it.
Our first heavy Euro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the BGG Guild with schedule and all of that.
2731.
Be sure to jump over to the website, milehighgameguys.com, where there are show notes with links to all the different things we talk about during the episode, news, Kickstarters, all of that. There's also links to that BGG Guild we just mentioned, as well as to our Slack channel, where you should most definitely join. Bunch of people, bunch of cool channels. You can talk about all kinds of things, whether it's disc golf in the sports channel, cricket in the sports channel. I'm surprised.
That's the channel. That's general and sports.
All kinds of video game related stuff. Ant has been like doing almost a daily video countdown to the Borderlands. MHDD is fairly new. We talk about all kinds of D&D and RPG things over there. A bunch of other random channels. 3D printing channel.
Slack is definitely the thing we're most active on.
Indeed. Along with a bunch of our other fans. So come join the community. It's pretty great. And if you want to support the show financially, there are now 2 ways to do so.
Yes.
You can go back over to that Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MHGameGuys, where you can actually subscribe, not follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free Twitch subscription per month. So if you're not using it for anything, you can use it for us.
Yeah.
Only downside is you have to re-up every month.
You do have to remember to re-up your Twitch Prime every month.
It's like a $2.50 tip.
Yep. You can also go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/milehighgameguys, where there are a plethora of different pledge options at different levels.
I haven't made fun of anyone for $1 pledge in a long time.
It has been a while since we had a single $1 pledge.
We keep getting more than $1, so that's really why.
And they and if you if you want both, if you want the roast, but you want to give us more than $1, just ask for the roast. It might not be Jeff's pure hatred of the $1 pledge into that roast, but there will be a little bit of a roast.
My heart won't really be into it, but I'll make it through.
Yeah. He'll humor you in exchange for money.
I'll do a lot for exchange for money.
I think that wraps everything up. I think that's all of our different contact informations and everything. Thanks as always to our sponsors, Gray Fox Games. Their newest Kickstarter is back on Kickstarter. We just covered it earlier this episode. After the Empire is a tower defense worker placement game where you are defending your castle from invading hordes. You're going to be hiring different troops and soldiers to defend your castle, building up the lands around your castle to better support it, and ultimately trying to survive the various attacks. Whoever has the most money and most powerful kingdom at the end of the game is the winner. But go back, listen to our more in-depth look at the Kickstarter. Go check the Kickstarter out yourself. It's all good stuff. Jeff, do you have a prepared statement regarding our sponsorship?
Of course. Gray Fox Games, quality games cleverly crafted. Also, you don't have the mental capacity for free will.
Ouch. When are you going to say the quote, though?
It just felt like a personal attack. That wraps everything up. We're all done here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and listening. And we'll be back
Friday
with a live stream, and we'll be back next Wednesday with another Banter episode. Until then, as always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I will be more Cyborg Jeff.
Bye.
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 Punchboard Media,
where we all
bring something
to the table.
Pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.